Hello to my Libras. All right, Libras. All right, let's get into it, Libras. Let's go. You all rule seventh house. Seventh house is all about marriage, relationships, partnerships, business contracts, inner desires, and also enemies. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get right into it, Libras. Let's get into it. Obviously, your polarity sign, for those, and these I'm just sharing FYI, facts would be Aries, right? So, and and, and so let's get into your reading. All right, Aries, let's go. Excuse me, Libra, let's go. I am polite with everyone I meet. That's right, I am polite with everyone I meet. Right? So I am. So that's source. Put that out in the universe. That's an intention that you're setting every day, that you are polite with everyone that you meet. You are polite with everyone that you meet. Because sometimes people have a first impression. They look at you and assume that you're not. You know, that could be their impression of you. You could have gotten some bad news. You know, anything could have happened. And people, their first impression could be a lasting impression of you. But it's like you are polite with everyone that you meet. Put that out into the universe. Because that's what you want to come back to you. In other words, you never know how far down the line you could come back where somebody's like, no, they were really polite with me. You know, they were no, every encounter I had with them, they were really polite, they were nice, they were kind, you know, those kind of things. You know what I'm saying, Libra? Like some of us have met celebrities that you hear negative stuff about them out in public, but you may have met them like you could have gone to some kind of an event. You don't know them personally. Yeah, people say something about like they got a team of people that coach them, but I mean, really, some of that they're still in human form too. So, but you've met some people who you've heard horrible things about, but you've met them and they were just very kind. I mean, they were just very kind. So. And that's what everybody has in common. Everybody not walking around with a team of people. Some people are just really kind. Every time you meet, every encounter you've had with them has been like, that's been your encounter with them, right? And so that's been some people's encounter with you. But it'll also expose people who will say the opposite, that you're just like, you had no idea that's how they felt about you. And so, but something about your energy, remember, you are a Libra, and we're talking about scales, you know, within you, your scales of balance within you. Something about two energies are now saying something different about you. And these are people that you love. They're saying something. And so when people listen to people that you love, and your head and heart have been at war about them, and you're like, wait a minute, and they start to be enemies. That's the beauty of you ruling seventh house. It's like saying, okay, that's what it will expose. It'll expose how they really feel about you. Their head and heart are not at war. His page of wands here. So yeah, you're gonna start going back in your memory and go, yeah, they were shady. They were shady towards you. Every little thing that you said, if you say something about your religion, they were shady towards who you dated. They were shady towards this, shady towards that. So it could be a fire energy who, you know, opposes something that you felt like they have a very limited spiritual view of some things, right? So maybe they could be a part of a team that opposes you that's going to come out. Here's a Three of Pentacles here. And so on the light side of all of this is that, one, you're free, right? You're free. Somebody is a sort of a free-spirited kind of energy, and you're a leader. You're a leader, but there's no I in team. Either energies are on your team or they're not. You're not. When I say either they're team you does not mean that they bow down to you. Just so we're crystal clear, we're talking about in terms of creativity. Some people use their creativity to create, to enlighten you. They'll create time to enlighten you. Like, were you aware of X, Y, and Z? And some people use their creativity to keep you in the dark. Something is being exposed. Something is being exposed. So, This is the reason why some people move on. This is the reason why some people just quietly move on once they just, feel like, people were being shady around them behind their back, making snide comments about any little thing about their. I saw this panel. It was three very high-powered, very wealthy women, and they were talking about friendships. This is on Instagram. They were talking about friendships, and I'm talking to men and women, Libras, by the way. And they were just saying, one of the women was saying, for people, your friends, they cannot have a tinge of jealousy in their spirit towards you at all. And one of the references that were made was like, you buy, so I'm speaking of pentacles here, like money, like you're buying something and they're, oh, you buying this again, you buying another such and such again. But in this time, we're talking about like spirituality. Somebody has a very limited view spiritually of things. So if you were to talk about like what you did, like for a living, let's say you said you read cards, right? Well, why would you want to do that? It would go right into something as demonic or evil. You would probably feel judged. It's something, it would just oppose something where you just feel like, okay, this feels like a competition. I almost feel like it would be the improper use of fire. There's no clarity as to why. It's not a teachable moment. It's not a, we can agree to disagree without being disagreeable, or you feeling like you're being disrespectful or disrespected. This is why people move on quietly. This is why people move on quietly. So, yeah. And just close out cycles in love. This is the reason why. And even if you reconnect with those types of energies, you know how to close out. Conversations. And there's many reasons why you may close out conversation. They may be even older than you are, but have a very limited view spiritually. They're not even trying to grow. So you just close out conversation. You already know what team they're on. Certain things you can't talk to them about. So you just move on. You just travel through life lightly. In other words, they will believe a lie about you before they believe a truth, and they will team up with other people who will believe lies about you before truth, right behind your back as you're sailing, you're moving through life, going through a storm in life. So here we have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah. So somebody teamed up with a group of energies so that they can have a new lease on life. So if you hear somebody around you moving, getting a new lease, signing a new lease on something, somebody that you go back in your mind and you realize they have a very limited view, is because they teamed up with some energies to get money behind your back. That's what this is. So, and didn't say a thing to you, didn't tell you anything. Just shady, very shady. They align themselves with shady energy. Do something, team up with somebody, do something behind your back. So, like I said, you're very polite with everyone you meet. So, here we have the Page of Cups here. And even if you were to remind them about something some egregious something that was done to you, they will say they don't remember it. It was the Page of Cups. And they could have been right there, and they'll say they don't remember it. Because of their emotional connection and their emotional love that they have for somebody, they'll say that they don't believe it. They'll say they don't remember it. They'll tell you they don't remember it. So yeah, you'll be closing out, like I said, you're polite with everyone that you meet. So here we have the Six of Pentacles here. So you and somebody will be receiving some money. You and somebody that everybody has been trying to keep apart from each other will be receiving some money, because some people teamed up just so they can have a whole new lease on life to come up against you and be shady because they have a limited view of something. But this whole time they have been opposing everything that you've been saying that you do. You want to go back to school, some kind of opposition there. You say you want to do this, some kind of opposition there. All while saying that they love you to your face, but behind your back there's been some opposition. So Source is saying to you, now you're realizing where to put your energy. Now you're realizing where to put your energy. So you got some good news coming across your path. The Source is saying from now on, when we're talking about Page energy, that's a message of young energy. There's a difference between being youthful and excited for you, and I'm talking about genuine love, excitement for you. Because there's a fire sign and a water sign who has a very immature view of your spirit, right? They say that they love you, so something is coming back around. Something is happening with you. Something is happening with you. There's a fire and a water sign that you love these energies deep, deep, deep. But they have teamed up with someone so that they can have a whole new lease on life. They were being paid. So something is happening. Something is happening here. Yep. So some kind of a new partnership in business and or in love is happening for you. Some kind of a partnership in business and or in love. So make a decision. Make a decision. So you'll be making a decision. Sometimes things are not crystal clear at first. Yeah, because two people were being used as pawns. You and somebody were being used as pawns. To say that somebody had a smart mouth. This was some advice. Somebody had a smart mouth. They're argumentative. They're this and that. And people will be shocked to hear it come from you. Because this is somebody that you may have known since they were a young adult, and that is not even who they are. That's not even who they are. They would be shocked to hear that come out of your mouth. It would literally sound like you were paid. To hear that somebody was, it would literally come out as shade. Like, what? Yeah. Somebody moved on. And it would literally sound like mind games. Like, okay, this person's being used to play games. Okay, got it. Got it. Yep. Because somebody was put out of something. They were made to feel worthless. Got it. So the source is saying it's time to get off the fence. Physically get off the fence. Know your worth. Know your value. Step through your own vault door. You know, and yeah, so somebody is being pulled backwards, you know, so you got paid to do something. Somebody, two people got paid to do something, right? But it's like I said, it's just going around in a cycle. It's going around in just one big circle. So, but you and somebody, like I said, being manipulated. So, at the very moment that you and somebody received money, y'all were taking boat trips, y'all was on a ride, y'all was on a cruise, somebody was on a cruise. This was a boat right here. Somebody was on a cruise, you know, maybe a couple or someone on a cruise, and something happened. Somebody, where's the card? Somebody had a whole new lease. This is a whole new lease on life. People really start waking up and saying, okay, where are people getting this money from? Like, who are people teaming up with? What kind of lies are being told out here, right? What kind of lies are being told out here? What are these people doing for money? Yeah. So connect with your ancestors. Connect with your ancestors. If somebody can tell you a lie about somebody that you spent a lot of time around, and they've been to your house and you saw them at their lowest point, they've been in your house and you've seen them at their lowest point, and somebody, that's a choice to believe that. That is a choice to believe that about two energies. Somebody could have chosen that somebody was just, like I said, you know, was being used as a pawn in people's games. That's what somebody could have chosen to believe. So, and something was being said behind people's backs because they would not go backwards. It could have been something as easy, as simple as somebody worked a legitimate job. I'm looking at fire, so somebody could have had a legitimate job. That could have been a government job. It could have been federal, local, whatever, wherever, because this is, you know, like I said, you can see the videos all over the world. They could have had a legitimate job, paycheck stubs, everything to prove it. All of that, taxes, the works to prove it. Instead of somebody having a warm conversation, somebody chose to believe a lie and team up with energies because money was involved. So whoever, So again, I am polite with everyone I meet. But somebody is saying that you have a smart mouth. People have been shady around you. It's because people are getting paid. Yeah. To say that you are depressed, your back is against the wall, those kind of things. So that's how things come back around. It's always a choice. When it's a choice to vibrate high or low, vibrate high. Always vibrate high. It takes but 2 seconds to say, hold on, wait a minute, I'm hearing something. Let me, especially if you have access to somebody who knows somebody's number. You got so-and-so, let me call so-and-so. Let me check and see what's going on. If somebody was rushing somebody. Somebody was rushing somebody. It looks like somebody may have had to, well, you're a mutable sign, so that mutable sign, maybe you may have just have adapted to something. Just you heard something from somebody you trusted, family, you heard something, or just adapted to whatever you heard behind somebody's back. So expansiveness. Eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. Somehow somebody edged God out of the situation. Went along with the program. Somebody told you something. Somebody said, okay, well, I mean, I haven't talked to them in a long time. Haven't been around them for a long time. I don't really know. You know, it could be, you know, it would be like, you know, you hear people say on social media, Sagittarius, what's the saying that people say about family online? Because I'm looking at fire. That would be like familiar spirits, like family, the people you consider as family, whether they're blood relatives, family, friend, organization, church. That could be an organization, job, family, whatever your definition of family is. There was a challenge that this guy put on. Well, it wasn't his challenge, but it was a challenge that was kind of going around social media recently, where it was funny, but it wasn't funny. I mean, when you really think about it, because it happens all the time. But this guy was in his car, and he was saying, what was the challenge was around, it was either like, would you sell your family out, or would you cut your family off? Something, would you sell your family out for, like, let's say, I'm just going to throw a figure out there, like $100 or whatever, and oh no, it's for a larger amount. It's like a million or $1 billion, or whatever the case may be. And this guy was like, what? You only have to pay me what, $5 or something? He was saying, you know. So it got a lot of likes and views. But that's a particular frequency. That's a particular frequency that people are on, because people actually do that. People actually do that when we are all, and people were made to feel worthless and humiliated. So a fiery climax approaches. Fiery climax approaches. People were actually made to feel humiliated and worthless. So somebody like I said before, somebody lied on somebody. See the difference between this and this. Here's the Five of Pentacles here. So you have people who know their worth and their value, and they leave. They don't even think about going back to anything. They're not going back to a job, whatever. They not messing up nothing. They move on with their lives, and they actually get better. Like everything improves for them. They're like, okay, close out a cycle, everything improves for them. Their money gets better, this gets better, that gets better. Everything improves for them, right? And you do have some people who leave situations bitter, right? You have some people who leave situations bitter. But stuff is coming out. Something is coming out. Something is coming out. So people have, like I said, looking at the cards here, where there's hope, where there is hope. So don't believe that the past defeats or disappoints. Will you, let me see. I don't know, this person may have had a typo. So don't believe that past defeats or disappointments will keep you from succeeding. True success grows from the lessons. A hopeful heart never gives up. A hopeful heart never gives up. Yep, a hopeful heart never gives up. Yeah. So this is one person, right? This is one person. This is duality right here, right? This is how we send out messages, but it's also how it's received, right? Because this is Mercury. It's Gemini is ruled by Mercury, right? And something could just keep repeating around and around and around, right? Until something is fulfilled. Until something is fulfilled. So it's just saying until somebody just kept circulating something around and around and around, being very shady behind someone's back until somebody was made to feel worthless. Until somebody was made to feel worthless. And somehow you got entangled in something. Somehow you got entangled in it. Again, if it's something that's shady, Sagittarius, source is saying, get yourself out of it. I don't care if it's your own adult kids bringing it to you. Get away from it. Because you don't know the full story. Yep, let it be. If you need to solve a problem, ask yourself, what is the simplest way to proceed? When you call forth the simplest path, it appears, and vice versa. That's simple prayer, source. Even if you haven't talked to somebody, so I pray that they reach out to me. Let me sit down and concentrate. Do I have their number? You know, what was the last place I remember them living? What was the last conversation I had? Because something don't sound right. Something like... That's what Source is trying to get people to do. And by the way, the additional, because we were doing bonus videos over here on this side. The bonus videos are going to go back over on the membership side, just FYI. And because they were kind of throwing the algorithms way off, right? So all the extra videos that people were requesting were throwing the algorithms off. So if you see the videos are shorter, you know, that's how we started, with shorter videos. And then the extra ones are going to go back over on the membership side, right? So, of course, if you're on the Patreon side, thank you for joining me here and there and the membership side. So we don't want to throw the algorithms off. So, intuition. Yeah. Yeah, your intuition was telling you something. Like, somebody's intuition kept trying to tell somebody that somebody was being shady, but somebody would not listen to their intuition. Somebody was just like, okay. They kept hearing some stuff talking about somebody. I was like, okay. Going with the flow. Made to feel make somebody feel worthless. This right here. Yeah, these two accepted some money that makes somebody feel worthless. And here's the thing, looking at the cards here. This is how I know, looking at this right here, and I'm going to go ahead and end this reading, because this is how I know looking at the card. That's why I fiery climax is because either you initiated a conversation with somebody or somebody initiated a conversation with you. I'm thinking it went the other way because, but the conversation was with structure. Something didn't come off as a rumor. One thing came off as a rumor, but something else came off as structured and authoritative, almost like, you know, they weren't being shady, nothing. It came off as, you know, like a leader. Somebody came off as like, okay, structured and authoritative. Conversation came off. They had a whole new lease on. They felt it's something about somebody telling you something, telling you how their life has gotten so much better, you know, since they moved on. That from now on, somebody's gonna slow down. Somebody for real. Somebody either somebody you either work with or something says since they moved on, they feel like their life has gotten better. Somebody's about to have a total recall of a conversation, some conversations that you've been having. So, because a lot of people were being used as pawns. That's what this is, being used as pawns, and didn't realize it. But that's what I have for you. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. But like I said, a fiery climax is approaching because some people are mad. M-A-D, mad. I mean, hot mad. So, yeah, it looks like some people were getting paid. Nobody was paying attention to something. I don't know what this is. So everybody was minding their business because money was coming through. People were feeling like a whole new lease on life. Nobody was paying attention to something. I don't know what this is, but take what resonates with you. Take what resonates with you. But this is all about what inspires you, where you put your energy to. Again, somebody's going to feel a lot more confident this week about where to put your energy. If you're around shady energies who talk about people behind their back, your confidence level is going to be on 1,000. As soon as you hear the shade, you don't care if it's coming from your own adult kids, your parents, your siblings, whomever. Something is going to stop you and help them raise their frequency. If it's somebody that you love, you're like, no, we're not bringing that kind of energy into a conversation. Let's just stop that right now. The one you deal with the shade is not funny, nothing. No, we're not about making people feel worthless. That drags you down to a low frequency. Somebody you work with, you just walking out the break room, out of the conversation. You only want to hear the gossip. You don't even want to hear it. Refrain is happening. So this is happening for me, not to me. It is a choice. It doesn't matter how old or young you, well, I mean, if you were probably watching this video, you're probably over 18. But Source is trying to get people to raise their frequency and think for themselves and get away from shady people. It's all fun and games. Yeah, it's all fun and games. You know, until this energy is you. Until this energy is you. And somebody is saying that, you know, they had to take over some property for you because you're depressed. You're the one that's depressed. You've gotten older. You've gotten much older. You're not thinking clearly. Now you got to defend something. Yes, I got all these tests, and now you fiery mad. You got to now restructure everything. All of this. So Source is saying to you, you know, you're choosing what to believe and what not to believe. Who's running with what pack? We're talking about wolf pack, right? So dark wolf energy, that's what people are not keeping you in the light about everything. Light wolf energy, they keep you in the light about some things. Not rumors, what they heard. Whether you agree or not. You don't have to agree with somebody's, you know, spiritual beliefs or whatever. Somebody could tell you that, hey, somebody's into whatever kind of like dark magic or whatever the case may be. Open your mouth and say, well, somebody, you know, listen, I don't do rumors, but I love you. We've had enough conversations. Like, I'm hearing, it should be that familiar. You should be that familiar with somebody. I'm hearing such and such. Now, oh, yeah, I did hear that a long time ago, and just sitting on it. Shady. That's shady. Well, I mean, I didn't believe, but it was just sitting there. It was just sitting there going around and around and around, waiting for the next event to happen. So it just piles up into a fiery climax. I've been hearing so much stuff over the years about this person. I didn't know what to believe and what not to believe. Instead of stopping the conversation until somebody is like this. So that's what Source is trying to help somebody learn how to do. Is it comes back around. It comes back around, and we're looking at, like I said, this moon card right here is like the light exposes that thing. So when you close out cycles, Source wants you to close out cycles in love. Close out cycles in love with shady people. People are being shady towards you. Just close it out in love. Close it out in love. Because that's not how somebody is choosing to close out a cycle with you. Just so you know, somebody is really choosing not, it's a couple, they are not choosing to close out the cycle in love with you. They're not. Something was very calculated between two energies here. A fire and a water sign is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So you choose a sign, but somebody is, they fiery mad. They like, now it's gonna be clear who they were running with, who they've been siding with, and that's what a lot of people having behind your back, using you as a pawn, playing a game. So The energies that, like I said, first came to you and shady about somebody's spiritual beliefs, talking about people behind their back, could have been the very one that shined a light on something that you're now looking like, oh my God, what in the world? You just never know. That's what I was saying. That is what I have for you. So yeah, so I'm seeing, like I said, you got some good news, you know, coming through about just, you know, what you're going to be doing in your creative time so that you're not overwhelmed. This right here is when somebody goes into hermit mode. That's where the light turns on for a lot of people. A lot of people get inspired in hermit mode. So this is like bringing this reading to a close. You're now going to actually appreciate your alone time. You're now going to appreciate your alone time, because that's where the light is going to turn on in your spirit. That's when you're going to say, you know what, I got ideas about partnerships. I got ideas about, I'm never looking down on anybody again. You know, I'm not letting somebody treat me like I'm their God. I'm not looking up. Now it makes sense about, you know, like, you know, treating everybody like the creator is inside of them. Like, I mean, all of that. So yeah, so that's what's happening here. That is what's happening here. So somebody gonna stop all of this. I'm just listening to just, I've been hearing stuff over the years, mess. That's what I have for you. So make it a great week. 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 So yeah. So somebody's definitely not going backwards. Somebody's definitely not going backwards to being around energies who haven't resolved something in their spirit, and they're still in this competitive mode. They got to compete with people, you know, whether they were married to them. Remember your polarity sign, which is also important to note, you know, knowing your polarity sign too. You all are ruled by Jupiter, right? You and Pisces are ruled by Jupiter. Like I said, it's always good to know. It's like, you know, when you're talking to people, like, I mean, really, like Gemini is your polarity sign, and Gemini is ruled by, this is Gemini right here. When you're, how people gotta put somebody else down, you know, to build themselves up. Or somebody say, I used to look up to somebody, but, you know, I found this out about them. I found that out about. Okay, when was the last time somebody talked? When was, you know, like somebody should be, anyway, asking questions. Your intuition was trying to tell you something, but again, somebody's going to start realizing when there's a distraction, when there's a monkey wrench being thrown in something to distract you, especially if you've invested a lot of time spending a lot of time around two energies. You spend more time around two energies than you spent around somebody coming and you bringing you some shady information. And you know something was being said about somebody behind their back. Like what? That should have been the first thing. Well, anyway, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing here in the cards. That's what I'm seeing here in the cards, because that also exposes what pack people are running with too. It's like, wow. Yeah. So, sending good, positive light your way, positive intuition. Like I said, somebody has psychic abilities, but you're about to go into hermit mode so the light can turn on, so you can see how much you thrive and how much you can create yourself in hermit mode. Because that's what the truth is that somebody was growing their money in hermit mode. Two people were growing them, they thrive in hermit mode, and that's what you have in common with people. But you heard some lies about somebody behind their back from what seems like reliable sources. The only reliable source is source. Yeah, this is snake energy right here. 4 and 7 is 11. 11 is, that's where you become enlightened. You get off the fence of the overthinking some kind of emotion about something and step into the light in some kind of enlightenment. meaning I'm keeping my vibrations high. Anybody got somebody's number, I need to call and talk to them directly. Let's let me, again, what are you using your creativity for? Recording conversations. That's one way to, that's reflective, because water is reflective, right? It'll expose who you're running with. You're recording conversations. What did you say about so and so? Because the last time we talked, you was telling me such and such. And what exactly did you say? Bam! You just exposed yourself. Like, who you running with? I mean, as I'm telling you, when Source is saying yeah. It's better to, especially when you're dealing with people who are homebodies for the most part, they're homebodies for the most part, to just come out and ask, well, how are you making extra money, whatever. People who are not gatekeeping will tell you. Look at, I was about to give a big shout out to somebody, another YouTuber. Is she still on YouTube? She may be. But I think she does more like Instagram. But there's this young lady on Instagram. I think she's on Instagram, and she was basically sharing her testimony about like being a single parent. And she shows breakdowns of like what her checks look like from like filming videos. And then no gatekeeping whatsoever. People would just speak up and ask, but some people believe lies before they believe the truth about anything. Setting people up, stealing people's money, creating all kinds of, just won't even, because they haven't resolved something within themselves. Here's Knight of Cups. That's how you're going to save yourself. That is how you're going to save yourself. It's creating relationships with people who run with people who keep people enlightened. That's light wolf energy. Getting away from people saying everybody's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Get away from people gotta say that about somebody. You need to be away from them anyway. Not especially if it's somebody you've spent some time around. Like, what in the world? So that's what I'm seeing here. Yep, so that is what I'm seeing here for you. That's what I'm seeing here for you. So, I see you keeping your vibrations high. I'll see you in the next video. Make it a fantastic week. Make it a fantastic week. A fantastic week. All right, I think this is it. Yeah, it's coming. So hope is on the horizon in the face of challenges. Remember that nothing lasts forever. Trust the universe has good things in store for you. And it's coming. It's coming. That's right. Collaboration over competition. And we're talking about light wolf energy. So if something were to come to light, like, okay, you got to produce bank statements or tax information or whatever, it's right there. It's right there. And no competition. If somebody feels worthless or have involved somebody, making somebody feel worthless or whatever the case may be. So really involves teamwork. That's what I have for you. Hopefully this has been helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, this is a correction real quick. So if I mention Sagittarius and then Gemini being polarity sign, what I was referring to, and I probably should have said, I may have slipped up and said Sagittarius, because Sagittarius actually rules 9th house. We're in year 9, right? And that's breaking some kind of a, leaving year 8, right? And coming into year 9. 9 is 2025. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9, okay? So if I said Gemini is that's Sagittarius is polarity sign. Clearly, this is Libra's reading. Your polarity sign is Aries. So somebody felt like they were making you feel like they were partnering with you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It's about saying something shady about somebody behind their backs. So But like something, just like I said, something traveled. Something traveled. So you can save yourself. Like I said, you can save yourself by, like I said, going back through your, like, you know, what's nostalgic, like what do you like to create when you use your time to create? What do you like to do to use your time to create? Do you like to write music? Do you like to play instruments? Like, you can use your time wisely is what I'm seeing here, using your time wisely. But yeah, like I said, a fiery climax approaches, you know, for something. So something happened to do possibly with someone who has a moon in Aries. Who has a moon in Aries? I don't know. Could it be somebody could have a, I don't know. You could have a moon in Aries, or somebody could have a moon in Aries in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But yeah, somebody is I don't know. I mean, you could have a moon in there. I don't know what your birth chart is. This is a general reading, but anyway, that's what I have for you. But that's what source is saying to you. You know, if it's somebody who's being shady towards you or whatever, it could have been somebody that you were, you know, in a romantic relationship with, who may have lied, you know, on you, you and somebody else, and something could have traveled around the world, and now the scales from your eyes have been removed, and it could have been somebody you work with. For some of you all, it could have been somebody you work with. They put, you know, as a part of a team, so that they can have a whole new lease on life or something. So it's a lot going on in the cards to help you know, you feel, you know, worthless. And 2 energies were paid. Yeah, so these 2 energies right here could have been a brother-sister team. They could have been a love interest team. I mean, like, whoever karmic, it could have been in a karmic cycle themselves. But something about your energy, like I said before, the scales from your eyes are being removed. Something about the scales from your eyes are being removed to stay away from shady energies. And they're telling you they had a shady past, or whatever the case may be. Sources saying that is going to be your cue to get up and walk yourself right on out of people's lives. You're not judging anybody, but you're moving on. Yeah, because 2 energies were being used as a pawn in a game or something. So that's what I have for you. See you all in the next video.